Imagine you wake up one morning and, through a series of very unfortunate decisions, you find yourself standing in the shadow of Snake Mountain, wearing bone-colored armor, answering to a blue-skinned, skull-faced maniac who refers to himself in the third person and screams at clouds. You didn't sign up for this, or maybe you did. Either way, you're here now. And here's what nobody tells you before you join the Evil Warriors. There is a career ladder. There are ranks. There's a hierarchy. Like any job, some people climb it, some get stuck, and some don't make it to the next performance review. Today, we're going through every level, from terrified new recruit all the way up to the person standing closest to Skeletor himself. This is your life now. Rank 1, fresh recruit, cannon fodder. Let's start at the very bottom because that's where everyone starts. You're a fresh recruit. You have no training, no status, no idea what's happening, and you are absolutely going to be used as a distraction while someone more important runs away. The name says it all, really. Cannon fodder. You exist to absorb damage. How do people end up here? Honestly, the recruitment pipeline for the Evil Warriors is less selective process and more wrong place, wrong time. Maybe you were a mercenary looking for steady work in Eternia's gray market. Maybe Beastman showed up in your village and the look he gave you made it clear this wasn't optional. Whatever the story, you're in now, and the orientation is approximately 0 minutes long. Your daily responsibilities are simple. Go where you're told, make noise, look threatening, and try not to die when He-Man inevitably shows up and starts throwing people. That's genuinely the job description. You're sent on missions immediately. No warm-up, no mentorship, no buddy system. Just here's a laser staff, there's the Royal Palace, good luck. Pay at this level is essentially survival. Food, shelter inside Snake Mountain, which smells exactly like you'd expect, and the theoretical promise that if you stick around long enough, things might get better. The survival rate being what it is, most recruits never cash in on that promise. The dangers here are total and constant. Every mission is high risk. He-Man alone could juggle 6 of you simultaneously. You're also in danger from your own side. Skeletor has been known to blast his own men out of frustration. Promotion comes simply from living. Survive 3 missions and people start to notice you exist. That's the entire bar. Rank 2, Frontline, Grunt. Congratulations, you made it to Frontline Grunt. You have a basic combat role now. You've held a weapon long enough that you know which end goes forward. This is progress. Modest, terrifying progress. Grunts are the backbone of every single one of Skeletor's plans, which means they're also the first thing that breaks when the plan goes sideways, and the plan always goes sideways. You're constantly fighting heroes, constantly retreating, and constantly standing in the background of someone else's dramatic monologue. What you're starting to understand at this level, though, is how chaotic the whole operation actually is. Skeletor announces a plan with tremendous confidence. The plan involves, say, stealing a magical artifact from the Eternian archive. Simple enough, except Evil-Lyn has her own agenda. Beastman has upset the timeline by antagonizing something he shouldn't have. And by the time you reach the archive, He-Man is already there, somehow, despite living on the other side of the planet. The plan collapses, you run. You do it again next week. Pay has improved slightly. You might get actual currency now, not just room and board. Danger remains extremely high. Moving up requires consistency, showing you can follow complex orders without panicking, and ideally, doing something in the field that gets noticed by a superior who isn't in the middle of being punched. Rank 3, Squad Survivor. Here's where things get interesting. You're a squad survivor. You have, against considerable odds, lived through multiple major missions. You've been blasted, chased, teleported into walls, and you're still here. People are starting to remember your name. You get assigned to more important attacks now, not because the missions are safer, but because someone up the chain has decided you are worth sending somewhere that actually matters. The risk hasn't dropped. If anything, the stakes are higher. But you're also starting to understand the politics inside the army, and that knowledge is genuinely valuable. You know which lieutenants to avoid. You know that if Evil-Lyn and Beastman are arguing before a mission, that mission is going to be a disaster. You're developing institutional knowledge. Pay is noticeably better. You're also in less danger from your own side because you've demonstrated enough value that casually eliminating you would be wasteful. Promotion here requires demonstrating leadership instincts, covering for a teammate, making a smart call under pressure, or catching the eye of someone in the inner circle. Rank 4, Squad Leader. Squad Leader is the first rank where you have genuine responsibility. You're leading a small unit into battle, which means you get the credit if things go well, and you absorb the blame when they don't. You're now the person standing between Skeletor's orders and the reality of executing them with 4 people who are terrified and underprepared. Think of someone like Karg, one of Skeletor's more mid-tier commanders, constantly navigating between impossible orders from above and unreliable soldiers below. That's the vibe. You're managing people for the first time, and the HR department is Skeletor yelling at you, so good luck. You've started getting noticed by the inner circle, which sounds like a reward, but is actually its own category of danger. Being visible to Skeletor means being accountable to Skeletor. Pay is solid at this level. Moving up requires delivering results on a meaningful mission, actually breaching a defense, capturing a target, doing something that lands in the win column for once. Rank 5, Elite Enforcer. You've been handpicked. That's what Elite Enforcer means. Someone looked at your record and decided you were worth putting next to the real players. You're working alongside major figures now. Beastman, Evil-Lyn, Trapjaw. The status is real. The expectations missions are proportionally brutal. This level, failure has consequences that go beyond a shouting match. Skeletor's patience for underperformance scales with proximity. The closer you are to him, the less room there is for mistakes. Your daily life involves complex, multi-stage missions rather than frontal assaults. You're trusted with equipment, intelligence, and timing-sensitive operations. And you have to manage relationships with villains who would absolutely step over you to get ahead. Politically, this is the most dangerous tier of the middle ranks. Rank 6, Inner Circle Operative. You're inside the actual plans now, not the decoy plans, not the distraction, the real thing. You know the target, you know the timeline. You've been briefed on Castle Grayskull. This is the level where Skeletor actually knows your face and uses your name. And while that sounds like an honor, it is also the level where one significant mistake results in severe and immediate punishment. There are no second chances at this altitude. The pressure is constant. The paranoia is contagious, and everyone around you at this level is watching everyone else. Moving up from here means being indispensable, not just reliable, but essential to something that actually works. Rank 7, Lieutenant of Chaos. You give orders now. You manage troops, strategy, and resources. You're one of Skeletor's top commanders, and in another organization, that would feel like the top. Here, it just means you're close enough to the center that the instability radiates directly onto you. The rivalries inside the inner circle at this level are vicious. Lieutenants undermine each other constantly because everyone is jockeying for the position above, and Skeletor seems to enjoy the competition. Your danger now comes less from He-Man and more from the person standing next to you at the strategy table. You've learned to read the room, to laugh at the right moments, to volunteer for missions that look glorious but aren't suicidal. You've mastered the art of appearing loyal while trusting no one. The problem is, so has everyone else at this table. And Skeletor, he knows exactly what you're all doing. He just finds it entertaining. Rank 8, Skeletor's right hand. Maximum power, short of the man himself. You have access to everything. The plans, the magic, the resources, the direct line to Skeletor. You are, on paper, the second most powerful person in the entire Evil Warriors operation. And you have never been less safe in your life. Because here's the truth about being Skeletor's right hand. He does not trust you. He cannot trust anyone. Every person who has ever held this position has been betrayed, replaced, or turned on the moment Skeletor suspected a competing ambition. And the cruel irony, the better you perform, the more dangerous you become to him. Competence reads as a threat. Loyalty reads as patience before a coup. You cannot win. You cannot quit. You are always one bad day, one misread glance, one victory too impressive away from being the example he makes of you. So here's the reality of this life. You started as cannon fodder and you clawed your way up through chaos, politics, and genuine physical danger, past the bodies of everyone who didn't make it, all the way to the top. And the top is a skull-faced warlord who sees you as a resource, not a person. The mission keeps failing. The heroes keep winning, and the most powerful position in the army still answers to someone who is fundamentally, structurally incapable of loyalty. That's the life. That's a career. If you made it this far in the video, drop a comment with your rank, because clearly you've got the survival instincts for it.